My name is Armin, and I'm a new Model Y owner. I'm new to the Tesla uh, fan club, and I want to show you my new car and talk about some of the things that I found out as I went through my journey. I will just let you know a few specifics. I ordered the car on July 4th. I received the car on August 24th. And during the intervening 7 weeks or whatever it was, I watched a ton of videos, and I'll near the end of the video I'll give a call out to some of the prominent people that I watched. It'll never be every single, I think I've watched every single video, but some that I've subscribed to and I continue to listen to because they really give rational advice. The car is in the 31,000 region, and so it's not an early build, but it's not some of the newer, what I believe are cleaner builds. There were a few issues, and I highlight some of those. The main thing is they were cosmetic. There was nothing dysfunctional, and but it's just you have to wonder. I understand they want to get as many cars out as possible, and and so they can have good results, and they want to get in the S&P and all that other stuff. I get it, trust me. But some of them could be caught and fixed on delivery, also, even if they can't get caught at the factory. Especially, little scuffs and fingerprints. I mean, these are the little things that the dealer prep that was so important at some high-end cars. I would just say that I gave up a 2015 Q5 for this car. From a storage point of view, except for a little bit about the slope of the back, I can fit as much, if not more, inside of this car, especially big bulky items, as you'll see in the video. I love the color. I love the white interior, is phenomenal, and I also bought a few aftermarket things, which I highlight in the video. And other than that, I do have a referral code, which I will mention again at the end of the video, and I'll post it inside of the comments. But it would be if you are thinking of getting a Tesla based on my suggestion, I would very much appreciate that if you use the referral code, because you and I get some free supercharger miles out of it. So anyway, let's get started. So when I got the car that day, there was some issues with delivery day, some big gaps, some odd cut-ins on the doors. There was dirt inside of the overhead and near some of the back doors, and there was a pretty sizable scuff mark on the dash. None of which was a deal killer. I will tell you that the blue is so nice in the sun. And yes, I bought a bunch of stuff my second week with the car, and somehow I got it all in the back. And so there is an enormous amount of space. I visited a Tesla Supercharger almost immediately, and I did it again a few days later. It's just a beautiful car. The supercharging is great. It's 15 minutes, and I'm pretty much charged because you charge to about 250 miles every time, which is about 79%, I think. And I generally charge to 250 miles, and every time I get down to like 120 or something like that, I probably get myself to a supercharger. Most nights I just plug it into the wall, and given that we're all working at home, the amount of time that I'm driving is, the car's recharged when I get when I need it, it's recharged. And so I'll get a NEMA 1450 dryer plug in the garage so I can charge it at 30 miles an hour. Or whatever it is, but right now 5 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour mostly seems to work, given my driving pattern. I did get some aftermarket mats, and I'll list them in the back. And I got a wrap for the console and the screen protector. I will tell you one thing though, that is a amazing view. It's not particularly useful to the driver, but it is to the people in the back. As I said, there's just an enormous amount of space back there, and with the seats folded down, you can almost sleep in it. There's a huge trunk, which we can easily fill with stuff, and then that smaller trunk is, my old RAV4 had a little trunk like that in the back for some spare stuff. I think it's because of the third row option that they have that little trunk in there, and then they try to turn it into something useful when you don't get the third row. The RAV4 had the same kind of a thing. I'll say the white interior. So some of these pictures are taken at night in my garage, so there's like a little bit of a yellow tinge to them, but the white interior is absolutely beautiful. The hood is kind of flimsy, but when you open it up, you have this really, really useful front. So I did order the tow hitch, and it is interesting. Getting the tow hitch cover off is a royal pain. I understand that they want to save a little bit of money by making it a clip-on thing, but it would have been better if you just had a door and a lock on it, because trying to pry that thing off is a disaster waiting to happen. It is really not easy. Now that I know how it works, oh, okay. But you could really rethink that one piece. I mean, it should just be a little door that flips out of the way or falls down or something like that. And I'm sure that it's not that expensive to put that into a car at this cost. But I do have a tow hitch when I need it. I don't know what I'll be towing anything soon, but when the need comes. So, I don't know. In conclusion, I would say I love driving the car. The regenerative braking is great. Drives like a golf cart. That's good. It's going 80 miles an hour. Goes from 0 to 60. Now I did get the long range all-wheel drive. I did not get the performance version, and honestly, I don't miss the extra second and a half from 0 to 60. I'm not going to take it to a track. I'm not going to be driving it, drag racing it, or anything like that. So that's kind of lost on me. I drive medium to long distances, and bring stuff back and forth, and do a lot of driving around town. And those are the things that I need this thing to do. Full self-driving. The Autopilot works fine. Full self-driving works pretty good. I will say that it's a little quirky around exits, dotted lines, and suddenly opening up into 2 lanes, and it gets itself confused and it throws it back over to me. Okay, well, you don't have to use it, so if you enjoy driving your own car, that's fine. But if you're expecting this thing to work, you really, really have to pay attention, because it makes mistakes. At one point I was getting off an exit, and a dotted line appeared in front of me, and instead of trying to guide itself toward the exit, which it knew it was supposed to get off, it was telling me, would you like to signal to get in that lane? I signaled, and as soon as it saw that dotted line on the left side, it started merging me back over to the main lane. And I'm sitting there going, whoa! So I got it back into the exit, and I went on. My opinion as a software engineer and person that did embedded systems and a bunch of other stuff, plus I've done some analysis of usability and things like that. What I will say is that the full self-driving isn't using me as one of the sensors. It's a switch. It's basically using me as an input if I'm driving, and it's using me as, are you there? Keep alive. when I'm letting it go. But in that in between, I am a sensor. I have two eyes. I've got ears. If I need to, I can smell and feel things too. And exit ramps, certain decisions that it's making, patterns that I use for safety, like getting into the right lane on early at certain places because I visit the same places over and over again. It doesn't seem to learn those exits. I would think that if I guided through that thing, or if I had to take over at that point, the next time I'd hit that exit, it would, hey, you've been here before, guide me. Don't just force me to take over like violently like it does. I mean, it seems kind of crazy, especially since I go off the same 5 or 8 exits between highways and things like here in the Boston area. Eventually, my driving is a pattern that should be understandable by an engine like this, a data engine like this. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts. But I mean, I love driving the thing. It's just amazing. It's very cool. I will just make a few call outs here. I've been watching a lot of videos, as I mentioned earlier. I want to call out the bearded Tesla guy who I've interacted with. He's soul of reason about many, many things. And Tesla Joy, she does a lot of aftermarket trials of things, which I enjoy watching. The Electric Israeli, tons of information, both business information, mechanical information, following the building of the gigafactories, his Model Y reviews, all good stuff. And also the couple that do Tesla Ruby, they got a Model Y after they got a Model X. And so some of their videos earlier, while I was waiting for my Tesla to show up, I watched, and a lot of good advice I got out of them also. So I'll put some sort of link in the notes below to all of these people. There's a ton of other ones too, but I can't do an exhaustive list here. But I also have a referral code. If any of you, my friends in particular, want to buy a Tesla, and this video has proven useful, and you can use my referral code. And as I said, it buys you supercharger miles and buys me supercharger miles if you use my referral code. So anyway, happy driving.